Merry Christmas everyone, and welcome to the 2020 base tour. Let's jump right on into it this year, because we got a lot to show you. So the first thing I want to show you is Christmas Town, the town we started in with the intro and the flying camera and all that. So we're going to go back to what the camera did, and we're going to go from the beginning of the camera to the end of the camera shot. So this right here is the stables. The stables are going to be the road access transition piece. Just like Smoketown has the nice big old house to sort of transition between the straight rigid of my base to the nice detailed look of my Steamtown base, this will act as the same thing. The road will come in underground here, with a nice little footpath going up, and then you can have sort of the barrier gates, like to enter Disneyland or something like that. This town also has elements of Disneyland because it has a nice ridge around it. All these trees are not natural. I planted these all myself to make a nice natural barrier, so that way you do not see the train tracks as well as the flat emptiness of the snow area. So the next thing we saw was the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is in the center there, and it was probably the first thing built in this place. The next thing you really saw was this house. This house is what is a tourist attraction house, because it had a naturally generating cave underneath the ice here, and I'm calling it the Blue Hole. I'm going to set up a nice ticket office and everything else in here, so that way you pay something coming in here, you get access to it, as well as you can then look at the balcony you're there, and then you can exit through this door here. These two houses, or these three houses I should say, I'm not sure what I want to do with them yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out eventually. We also have a mine over here, which is still not quite finished, but we'll have some nice piles of iron ore and some coal ore, as well as maybe some more details in the mine, but at least it's dug out. Over here we have the train station, and the train station this time is going to be a nice shade of yellow. The train station here goes from here all the way to my base, all underground. There has been some other projects to do with the rails that have changed, as well as some road project stuff that has changed. The stations where all the stuff ends up in my base have also been revamped a bit. We'll show you all that when we get there. This right here is the revamped stations. The stations now have a nice color to just demonstrate what you're going to. So everything has their unique color slash texture slash block. They also have their nice little overhead names for each of these stations. So we're going to go on the mainline train tracks now, and we'll show you what has changed. So, if you remember last year, we had this whole big old structure. Well, I have gotten rid of that, and I'm going back to the original structure that was here back in 2015, I believe. So, that structure is what's going to replace it, and this is going to be destroyed. This entire wooden structure here that's been here for years now is going to be destroyed. So pay your last farewells to it, because hopefully next year it's replaced with a nice big old structure here that will be more in line with the base. The reason I'm getting rid of it is because I want things to be halfway symmetrical with the tower. As this is too far shifted left, so I want to shift it back up. It's going to be a challenge because of the rails. The rails are more shifted left because that's where the junction ended up being, and I really do not want to replace the junction. So this is what's going to be a nice little fun puzzle to figure out. Some other things that have happened is these rails have gotten shifted around. If you remember from last year, the rails used to be sort of wibbly wobbly coming up through here diagonal and then finally ending up here. Well, they have now been straightened out as well as more organized curves. As well as these rails now go completely underground, which I'll show you later on. As well as there used to be a curve of road that went up here. That curve of road has also been put underground. This year has been a bunch of small little projects. This project was built back in 2018. The reason I didn't put it into a video, I don't know. But we call it the War Road. And the War Road goes all the way north to a different person's base. It comes over here, crosses over this road, and comes back down to my base. We're going to put a junction here similar to this junction, but it hasn't happened yet. Another small rail project that we have done is we have finally finished this section, double tracking it. If you recall from a few years ago, we sort of had it half done. Well, we finally finished it. It is now completely finished all the way down through here till the junction. At the junction, it goes back to one track all the way to Far Village. So we are now heading underground into the Smoketown rail line. As you can see here, it is red now, so that way then it's underground, out of the way, and also the color is of the red variety. This track also now comes into Station 2. It felt weird going into Station 1, so it's now in Station 2 as the second station. If we go through the Nether portal, we can see that we have actually started work on our Nether Hub. It doesn't look like much now, but it's a bit more dug out, as well as on the edges here, we have it really cut out. I'm hoping to eventually add in the Christmas town down south through here, as well as get a bit more dug out as well as decorate it a bit. I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate it yet, but I'm sure we'll get there in the end. This year we had one big massive project, which was Christmas Town. We started building Christmas Town, as well as we built the Christmas Town rails. We have touched up a few things to make it easier to get around my base, such as revamping the stations, as well as revamping the Steamtown Road, as well as the Steamtown tracks. We also started building the Nether Hub, so that way it's much easier to get around the base. So with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next year. Bye bye!